I vibe coded with Lovable this app a week or app lists app, and it's where I'm going to store my apps as I go and produce them. Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a 45-year-old dad of two, and I'm aiming to build an app a week, more or less in public. This is my latest app, so stick with me as I talk you through how I built it using Lovable and ChatGPT and Supabase, and how you could do exactly the same thing if you want to. So this app here is fairly simple. It's just anyone can go, and if they once they're signed in, anyone can go and create a list and create a new list of apps. And once they've created their list of apps, they can start adding apps to it. As you can see, I have added 3 to it, which are the 3 apps that I've built so far, plus this one, which I will need to add to it. So how did I go about it? Well, first of all, I started with ChatGPT, and I started building a spec in ChatGPT. So we have here, and I'll include this in the comments, we have here a spec for the app, okay, and it's a spec that I've written and found a way designed effectively, and then the detail of the app and what I want it to do, okay. So I put that into ChatGPT, and you can see that here on the left. I'm scrolling through that. And ChatGPT then created the full product requirements document, which is exactly what I needed to put into Lovable. Now, I looked at this product requirements document, and I think I made some small changes to it, and I didn't just copy and paste it into Lovable. I had to think about what I wanted, and I had to really own the document. This is my document. This is my product requirements document, it's not just copying and pasting. And that's one of the key things around using ChatGPT to create the spec, because otherwise you could just copy and paste the prompt itself. What you put into ChatGPT could just copy and paste into Lovable. The idea is, first of all, tell it to ask you questions, and here it's asking me questions about the authentication. But secondly, also make sure you own the spec that goes in. Now, what was the result? Well, what Lovable generated wasn't the actual app itself. It just generated almost like a prototype, what it could look like. And this looks really good. This looks better than almost really what I had in my head. I'm not a UX person, so I can't really design something that's good, and I think Lovable is quite good at doing that. Just using its default features is quite good at coming up with stuff like this. So that's really nice to see. And in fact, looking at this, when I go back to the final app, I see there's some things here that I don't really have in the final app. That it's got the proper name of the person, whereas in the final app it's got creator. And here it's quite interesting. It's got actually sort of the first couple of apps in a list, which really we should have. I should add that to the app that I should add it to the final result. So this is great. This looks fantastic, but it's not the app. It's not functional. So what happened? Well, what happened was I needed to connect Supabase into Lovable. Now, Supabase is, so it's you can see it's built it here. But to get things like authentication and so on, I did need to create the Supabase. Now, Supabase is fantastic because it gives you a DB. Here we got the app listings, but you can create new projects, new databases. But importantly, it's very easy to set up and configure. So you just go to Supabase, and here it's sort of telling you connect to Supabase. That will link into Supabase, and Lovable and Supabase will just handle each other very easily. So if you just follow the setup, it all sort of sorts itself out. Now, one thing that Supabase has, which is really powerful, is this Auth. And what I mean by that is you can choose to allow users to sign up or not, if you like. And you can also choose how they can sign into your app. So you've got email, for example. You could have phone and some other things, Apple, all of that. And I've got Google. So I've enabled, I don't want to go overboard, I've enabled email and Google. Now, what's really, really nice about having this long list of providers here is if you're targeting a particular segment, you can do those sign-ons. Now, I wouldn't have all of these sign-ons. I think that's too much. You could have 2 or 3. But if you're targeting a business segment and something to do with LinkedIn, you might use LinkedIn, for example. If you're targeting developers, you might use GitHub and or Bitbucket. If you're targeting UX designers, you might use Figma. So there's just lots of options here for you to do that. something you need to know if you've not tried to build apps before is Auth is hard. Auth is not easy. It's tough to get right, and it can be it can be really painful. And of course, if you get it wrong, you can also have security issues. But even just setting it up can be a real pain. Supabase and Lovable really take away a lot of that pain for you by sort of handling it all. Now, it is true that you do need to do a little bit yourself. You need to, I'm not going to show you my keys and all that, but you need to go to Google Cloud Console. You'll need to create a new project on Google Cloud Console, use one you already have. You'll then need to go to OAuth, so you could search for OAuth and the OAuth consent screen. You want to, maybe it will take you through some of the things you need to do. You particularly need to go through, so there'll be some things maybe on the overview that you need to do, but in particular the branding. You need to put the name, the support, emails, all of that stuff. You're going to have to put some authorized domains. So here we see there's an authorized domain of the sort of ones I'll be using, including the Supabase one. You'll then also get, and I'm not going to show it to you, but you also get a client secret and a client ID or something like that, which you'll need to put into Supabase, and then Supabase will give you some callback links. So you just need to make sure you adding things back and forth for it to work. But that's fairly easy. It's a lot less painful than setting up normal Auth is. If you have any trouble, comment and I'll reply on how to fix it. But it's fairly easy to do that. Okay. So moving on. I got all of that working, and it was great. I had the app, I had it working, more or less as you see here. There was just one problem. I could not get soft delete to work. Or I couldn't get delete to work. I couldn't delete lists, I couldn't delete apps. In theory, that had all been set up to work, but it didn't. It didn't delete. It came up with an error about row level security. Now, row level security is security in the Supabase database to make sure that, for example, the wrong user can't delete. So not any user can go and delete an app, as an example, or to go and delete a list. It needs to be the owner. Okay. Trouble was, it wasn't letting anyone, it wasn't letting the owner even delete the lists or the apps. This took quite a lot of effort, I'll be honest with you, and I think I've worked out how I could do it a lot faster the next time, and I'll share that tip. But this was probably the most time-consuming piece. I will be honest, things don't always work out, and I have a technique next time that I will do, which will be a lot faster for this sort of thing. So I did ask Lovable to fix it. That didn't work. I tried to edit it myself. That didn't work. I tried with Lovable to try and do that. That didn't work. I was also at the same time going to ChatGPT, and I was going back and forth to ChatGPT to see if it could tell me what was going on and if it could explain it to me. I tried it in a sort of a different chat. One chat didn't work, so I tried it another way. Nothing worked. So in the end, what I did is I kind of figured out, maybe I wanted to try something. Maybe it wasn't anything to do with the delete and update policies, but something to do with select. Now, in theory, and I kind of got this hint from ChatGPT that it could be something to do with select, but ChatGPT was telling me, well, with what you've got in Supabase, what you've got in the React front end, it should not be using select. So in theory, select should not have been affected. But I thought maybe it's something to do with the select policy. So what was happening with the select policy is it was saying you couldn't select it if deleted equals false. So deleted equals false is how it was soft deleting the list and the apps. It wasn't actually deleting them from the database, just adding this flag deleted false, and then when it asks to see them, it doesn't show you the deleted false. I think the thing was that you couldn't delete something at the same time that you can't see it. It sort of created this paradox, if you like. How can you delete it if you can't see it? And in the middle of deleting it, you will stop being able to see it, if you like, because of this deleted equals false. So I added this bit here where it says owner equals auth UID. So that just says, is the person trying to look at the app the owner? If so, yes, they can see the deleted app. Now they still wouldn't see the deleted app in the app itself in the web page because there's a bit of code already on the client side that says don't pull the deleted equals false ones. So this is just allowing in the database this without creating an error. And that seemed to do the trick. Now, what I would do differently, this is instead of all of that hoo-ha, is I think I'd be very tempted, if I'm getting any sort of row level security issue in the future, and it did say it was a row level security, I'd be very tempted to just go turning off policies and or relaxing policies until it solved the issue. And at that point, I'd know what was causing the problem, and I'd be able to pinpoint that and very specifically deal with that. So for example, I could have just turned off the select policy altogether, turned off this and all. And then when I worked out what policy it was, I could make it more or harder, stricter or more relaxed until I worked out what part of the policy was causing the issue. So I think that is how to do it and how to do that sort of problem and what I should have done to begin with. If I'd done that, I probably would have been a lot faster in finding the issues. Nevertheless, I did manage to solve it. With sort of fiddling around with that, and it just goes to show that sometimes even Lovable and ChatGPT won't be able to fix the problems for yourself. You just got to be willing to get into it. And I will say the big advantage of this is trying to understand what was going wrong really helped me understand a bit more React and how Lovable app building was working. So I think that's really helpful. Okay, so here we have it. We have the app a week, and we've got my list of apps, and it's all working. So we can go to view list, and in fact, what we can do is we can add an app, and the app we can add is this app, this app itself. Let's just do this, add app, week 4. Week 4, the app listings app. And we'll put the URL for the app. Once the YouTube is live, I'll put the YouTube link. What makes this app special? How do you use it? This app was built to show off all the other apps I'm building. Collect them in one place. Great. So easy to use. Anyone could go and add something to this. Of course, I could disable sign up if I wanted to, but I don't want to disable sign up. I don't mind if other people add it. If it becomes a problem, I will disable sign up. But right now, I just wanted to put this out there and let other people see what I'm building. And this is another app that I'm actually shipping, as opposed to some of the apps I've just been showing you, particularly the email organizer, which is an automation. The table sorter I'm hoping to ship once Google approves it. Catan map generator it's been shipped, and then this one's been shipped. So it's another app out there. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if you have any ideas, and if you have any thoughts around this whole row level security problem that I had. And if you like this content, then do subscribe for more. Like this, actually like the video please, and then subscribe for more. If the bit around any of it was a little bit technical, post in the comments, and if you want to understand more, I can do that. I could even do another video if people are interested. I need to know if people want me to talk more in depth about something, or if I've been too technical or glossed over something, I can talk a bit more about it. Just let me know.